Good morning, students. We have already discussed about principles of scientific management as given by F.W. Taylor. These principles were science, not rule of thumb, harmony, not discord, cooperation, not individualism, and development of each and every person to his or her greatest efficiency and prosperity. Now, in today's lecture, we are going to discuss about scientific techniques of Taylor or techniques of scientific management. Taylor was a keen supporter of use of scientific methods of production in business. He devised many techniques of scientific management which are based on various experiments he conducted during his career. Actually, Taylor was supporter of using scientific methods of production. That means he was focusing on, at that time he was focusing on using a best suitable method, because he was of the opinion there is always one best method for doing a work and we must follow that method. And for this he has given many techniques of scientific management, and these techniques were concluded during his working time only, when he was actually working in the factory. So, starting from the techniques, these techniques of scientific management are functional foremanship, standardization and simplification of work, work study, differential piece weight system, and mental revolution. There are 5 techniques of scientific management. I repeat the names: functional foremanship, standardization and simplification of work, work study, differential piece weight system, and mental revolution. Work study is further divided into 4 subparts: fatigue study, motion study, time study, and method study. So we are going to discuss about these techniques one by one. First technique is functional foremanship. What is this technique? Taylor suggested to divide the factory into 2 departments. Taylor was of the opinion that we should divide the factory into 2 departments. One should be the planning department and other should be the production department. Now the question is, but why? Why he wanted to divide the factory in 2 departments? According to him, workers must be free from the burden of planning and they must only concentrate on work and production. He was of the opinion that workers should not be bothered about the planning work. They should not be given the work of doing planning. Actually, if they will spend time on planning, they will not be able to concentrate on their work. So he was of the opinion that workers should be free from the burden of planning. Their focus should be only and only on work and production. Taylor's opinion: under each department, there must be some functional experts to supervise and guide and instruct the workers. He was of the opinion that they divide the factory into 2 parts. One is planning department and one is production department. Under each department, few experts were hired and they were there to instruct, guide or supervise the workers. There must be minimum 8 specialist or functional experts. According to him, there must be 8 functional experts, 4 under each department. Basically, bache, when I'll explain this technique to you, you will come to know this is an extension of the principle of division of work. Total, there must be 8 specialists, 4 under each head. See this categorization. Basically, factory manager, there are 2 types of departments. One is planning in charge and one is production in charge. Under planning in charge, the 4 heads are instruction card clerk, route clerk, time and cost clerk, disciplinarian. I am repeating the names. Under planning in charge, under planning department, the 4 post or positions are instruction card clerk, route clerk, time and cost clerk, disciplinarian. And under production in charge, production means they are actually related with the working: speed boss, gang boss, repair boss, inspector. What are the names? Speed boss, gang boss, repair boss, inspector. And all these bosses or clerks were supposed to give instructions to the workers. So we'll discuss about them one by one. First of all, planning in charge, their main focus is to do planning of the work to be done. Production in charges, they are related with the production of the work done, where we have to do actual production, right? So now what is the point is, Taylor was of the opinion that employees or workers must be free from the burden of planning. Their concentration should be on work or production only. And there must be some functional experts, that names I have given to you. This technique was the extension of the principle of division of labor or division of work. He was of the opinion whosoever experts we will hire, these experts must be intelligent, educated, energetic, honest, or professional experts. That means they must be expert in their field. So we are going to discuss about these posts or positions one by one. First comes route clerk. Route clerk is responsible for fixing up the sequence of steps to be performed in a job, to be followed in performing a job. रूट क्लर्क डिसाइड ये करता है कि हमने कैसे एक पर्टिकुलर टास्क को कंप्लीट करना है, विच स्टेप टू बी फॉलोड फर्स्ट, उसके बाद कौन सा स्टेप लेना है, उसके बाद कौन सा स्टेप लेना है. दैट मीन्स ही हैज़ टू डिसाइड द सीक्वेंस ऑफ द पर्टिकुलर वर्क्स टू बी डन. Then comes instruction card clerk. Basically, the job of the instruction card clerk is to give instructions to the workers, such instructions which are very much necessary to carry on the job in a specified manner. Suppose we are saying that you have to attempt a 3-mark question. Fine, I have as a route clerk I told you, you have to attempt 1-mark question first, then you have to attempt 3 marks question, and then you have to attempt 6 marks question. But now as an instruction card clerk, a person will tell you how you will attempt 3 marks question. What will be the criteria of solving 3 marks question? How you are going to answer 3 marks question? Particular task को perform करने के लिए what steps you should follow? How you have to work upon a particular task? That is, instructions are given by instruction card clerk. Then comes time and cost clerk. Time clerk is responsible for fixing up the time for starting and completing the job. When you should start the job, by what time you should finish the job, how much time it should take to complete the job. This is the job of time clerk. And the cost clerk, he prepares the cost sheet of every job, that how much cost is incurred in completing this particular job. Then is disciplinarian. This foreman is responsible for performing the job in orderly and systematic way. That means he is responsible for maintaining discipline at the factory level. So these are the 4 planning in charges or 4 heads under planning department. The names are route clerk, instruction card clerk, time and cost clerk, disciplinarian. Then comes an operational department or the production in charges. The first is gang boss. Gang boss, the duty of the gang boss is to arrange all the machinery, all the tools, all the resources which are required for doing a job, so that there should be no delay. That means whenever we have to start a job, it is the duty of a gang boss, that all the required things, tools, machineries, equipments, everything should be at its place. There should be no wastage of time in searching for these resources. Then comes speed boss. He ensures timely completion of the job, that speed should be maintained, work should be completed on time. Then is repair boss. His main work is to repair the machineries or tools, and basically his main work is to keep the machineries and tools in working conditions. ठीक है, if the machineries are, there is some fault in the machinery or tool, some कोई breakage है tool में या कोई problem है, it is his duty before the next working day कि that should be repaired or the new tool should be there. Then comes inspector. He is responsible for the quality of the output. He is responsible for the quality of the output or quality of the actual production. So Taylor emphasized that when every foreman instructs and orders, the workers efficiency will improve. हर foreman, हर head जो है अपने accordingly guide कर रहा है, तो worker की efficiency increase होगी. But here you will observe one principle of general management is violated, and that is principle of unity of command. Is this clear? Now, next is second technique is standardization and simplification of work. Standardization and simplification of work. Scientific management always emphasizes on that we should maintain the standards of the work, standards of the target, standard of the product that we are manufacturing. And second thing is we should try to simplify our work. Unnecessary movements, unnecessary activities should be avoided. So let's start with standardization. Standardization implies the physical feature of product should be such that it meets the requirements and needs of customers. You know, whenever we talk about something, कभी हम एक किसी चीज़ के बारे में बात करते हैं. अगर आज के टाइम में वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट टीवी, सो विल इफ़ विल टॉक अबाउट टीवी, तो टीवी के बारे में अगर हम बात करेंगे हमारे माइंड में एक सिंपल सा चीज़ आएगा. आजकल स्टैंडर्ड साइजेस 42 इंचज़ टीवी, राइट. सो स्टैंडर्ड मीन्स अ बेसिक थिंग which suits the needs and demands of the customer, right? So it implies standardization means physical feature of the product that should match the needs and demands of the customers. Taylor advocated that tools, equipments, as well as working conditions should be standardized to achieve the standard output from worker. That means not only the product should be standardized, the raw material that we are using, the tools that we are using, that machinery we are using in manufacturing the product, that should also be of standard quality. अगर हमारा raw material, हमारी मशीनरी, हमारे टूल्स गुड क्वालिटी के होंगे, देन ओनली वी कैन प्रोवाइड वर्कर, वी कैन प्रोवाइड द कस्टमर विद द गुड क्वालिटी ऑफ प्रोडक्ट. Fine. Standardization is a means of achieving economies of production. Standardization means कि you should do production of a particular fixed size and category. Obviously, if you will produce a particular size, particular product of particular feature, that means you are going to produce that in large quantity and you are going to gain the economies of large scale production that you must have studied in economics also. कि if you are going to increase the production, the cost of production will डेफिनेटली डिक्रीज. जितनी आपकी प्रोडक्शन इंक्रीज होती है हमारी कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन पर यूनिट उतनी कम होती जाती है, राइट. सो इट सीम्स टू इंश्योर दैट स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन का मेन फोकस देखो क्या है बच्चे. द लाइन ऑफ प्रोडक्ट इज रिस्ट्रिक्टेड टू प्री डिटर्मिन टाइप, फॉर्म, डिज़ाइन, साइज, वेट, क्वालिटी एट्सेट्रा. दैट मीन्स इफ़ यू आर प्रोड्यूसिंग वन पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट, अगर आप कोई पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट बना रहे हो, आप उसके साथ अपना साइज फिक्स कर दो, टाइप फिक्स कर दो, फॉर्म फिक्स कर दो, डिज़ाइन कर दो, वेट, क्वालिटी एट्सेट्रा. इन सिंपल वर्ड, जैसे सपोज एक कंपनी है, वो कहती है कि हम AC बनाते हैं, दे आर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एयर कंडीशनर्स, बट दे आर सेइंग we manufacture only and only window AC, we do not manufacture split AC. The reason behind that, उनको लगता है कि split AC में they need more labor, they are not able to hire so much of labor, and window AC are more in demand in the market as per them, so they are producing according to their demand of their product. Fine. So if they are continuously producing window AC only, तो then think एक पर्टिकुलर क्वालिटी का प्रोडक्ट बनाना है, उनके वर्कर्स भी एक्सपर्ट हो जाएंगे उस पर्टिकुलर क्वालिटी को बनाने में. एक ही पर्टिकुलर साइज बनाना है, उनका हाथ बैठ जाएगा उस काम को करने में. डिवीजन ऑफ वर्क के बेसिस पे स्पेशलाइजेशन आएगी, एफिशिएंसी भी गेन होगी, राइट. देयर इज़ मैन्युफैक्चर ऑफ आइडेंटिकल पार्ट्स एंड components, सेम टाइप की चीज़ें बनानी चाहिए हमें. क्वालिटी एंड स्टैंडर्ड्स हैव बीन मेंटेन्ड, दैट मीन्स यू शुड मेंटेन द क्वालिटी ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट ऑल्सो. स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ परफॉर्मेंस आर एस्टैब्लिश्ड फॉर ऑल वर्कर्स एट ऑल लेवल्स. इट शुड नॉट बी लाइक दैट कि आपने वर्किंग स्टैंडर्ड जो है, परफॉर्मेंस स्टैंडर्ड जो है वो किसी पर्टिकुलर कैटेगरी ऑफ वर्कर्स के लिए आपने सेट किया है. इट शुड बी सेट फॉर ऑल द वर्कर्स एट ऑल द लेवल्स, राइट. Then is simplification of work. Simplification means elimination of unnecessary diversity of products, साइज एंड टाइप्स. मतलब जिन प्रोडक्ट की जिस फीचर की ज़रूरत नहीं है प्रोडक्ट की, या प्रोडक्ट के टाइप की ज़रूरत नहीं है, वाई टू वेस्ट टाइम इन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग दैट पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट. आई विल गिव यू वन सिंपल एग्जांपल. ओनली फ्यू कंपनीज, बिस्किट मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनीज आर देयर who make or sell or manufacture or sell the packing of two biscuits. टू बिस्किट्स की पैकिंग, बहुत रेयर कंपनीज हैं जो 2 4 बिस्किट्स वाली पैकिंग्स बनाती हैं. नॉट एवरी कंपनी मैन्युफैक्चर सच अ पैकिंग दैट कंटेन्स 2 बिस्किट्स इन ईच पैकेट. वाई? हर कंपनी के वो वाले पैकेट सेल नहीं होते हैं. सो वी शुड प्रोड्यूस ओनली दैट क्वालिटी, दैट क्वान्टिटी ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट दैट इज़ बीइंग ईजिली सोल्ड इन द मार्केट. It leads to economical operations as there is savings of cost of labor, machines and tools. देखो, obviously if you will not manufacture such a product जो आपका सेल नहीं होता, उसको बनाने का हमें कोई फ़ायदा नहीं. If we are not manufacturing, that means we are saving our labor also, we are saving our machinery also. इट रिड्यूसेस इन्वेंट्रीज ऑल्सो, देयर विल बी नो नीड ऑफ मेंटेनिंग द स्टॉक ऑल्सो. जब आप ऐसी चीज़ बनाओगे जो सेल ही नहीं होगी, दैट मीन्स वी नीड टू स्टोर दैट पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट एज इन्वेंट्री इन द स्टोर. हमें उसको स्टॉक में स्टोर करने की ज़रूरत ही क्यों, क्यों हम उसको बनाएं, क्यों स्टोर करें. ठीक है. एंड इट इंश्योर्स ऑप्टिमम यूटिलाइजेशन ऑफ इक्विपमेंट एंड इंक्रीज इन टर्नओवर. दैट मीन्स इसके अलावा हमें ये इंश्योर करना है कि हमारा यहाँ पे टर्नओवर का मतलब है बच्चे सेल, कि आप अपने इक्विपमेंट्स को प्रॉपर यूज़ करो और आप सिर्फ वही प्रोडक्ट बनाओ दैट इज़ बीइंग इजली सोल्ड बाय द कंपनी सो दैट यू कैन इंक्रीज योर सेल. दिस इज व्हाट द प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन एंड सिंप्लीफिकेशन सेज. Next is third technique is work study. I have told you work study is divided into 4 categories: motion study, time study, fatigue study, method study. So we'll study about all these things one by one. Let's start with fatigue study. Fatigue is generally caused by long working hours. बच्चे fatigue means tiredness, थक जाना काम करके. जब आप बहुत लंबे टाइम तक long working hours काम करते हो तो obviously you get tired. That means that is fatigue. It emphasizes on fatigue study का main motive क्या है? The frequency of rest intervals, that in how much gap we should give rest intervals to workers. The duration of rest intervals, दैट मीन्स कितनी देर का हमें रेस्ट इंटरवल देना है. एंड द नंबर ऑफ रेस्ट इंटरवल्स, मतलब फुल वर्किंग आवर में, वर्किंग डे में, वन वर्किंग डे में हमें उन्हें कितने टाइम्स रेस्ट इंटरवल देना है. अब देखो हाउ आई एम गोइंग टू टेल यू. टेक वन एग्जाम्पल. सपोज यू हैव अ स्कूल टाइम टेबल. अकॉर्डिंग टू आवर टाइम टेबल वी आर गिविंग यू रेस्ट आफ्टर 3 periods because we know after 3 periods you will feel fatigue, you will get tired and you need a break, so we give you lunch break, right? Then in the junior classes we give fruit break also according to their level. So the frequency of rest interval means after how much gap you need a break, कितना काम करने के बाद आपको ब्रेक चाहिए. ठीक है, दैट इज कॉल्ड फ्रीक्वेंसी. द ड्यूरेशन ऑफ रेस्ट इंटरवल मीन्स कितने टाइम का. लाइक वी हैव गिवन यू लंच ब्रेक ऑफ 20 minutes, दैट मीन्स यू नीड 20 minutes ब्रेक टू फ्रेशन अप. आपको रिफ्रेश होने के लिए 20 मिनट्स की ब्रेक चाहिए. सो दैट इज़ द ड्यूरेशन ऑफ रेस्ट इंटरवल. एंड द नंबर ऑफ रेस्ट इंटरवल्स मीन्स आपको कितनी रेस्ट इंटरवल्स है. देखो सपोज इफ यूल टॉक अबाउट सीनियर क्लासेस, दे आर स्टेइंग इन द स्कूल फॉर 5 periods ओनली. सो वी आर सेइंग कि आफ्टर 3 periods दे नीड 1 रेस्ट इंटरवल ओनली बिकॉज आफ्टर दैट 2 more periods are there and then they will be leaving the school. Fine. But for junior classes who are having 7-8 periods in the school, we give them 2 rest periods. So the number of rest intervals depends upon the working hours in a day. Fine. Main thing is it is suggested to observe how we are going to find out how much rest should be given, how much interval should be there, what is the duration of rest interval, how we are going to judge all these. Taylor suggested that observe an average worker when he is performing a job. एक नॉर्मल वर्कर, एवरेज वर्कर जब वो वर्क कर रहा है, ऑब्जर्व हिम एंड नोट डाउन द टाइम व्हेन द वर्कर स्टार्ट्स गेटिंग टायर्ड. टाइम नोट करो कितने टाइम उसने काम किया और उसके बाद वो थकना फील करने लगा कि नाउ मुझे ऐसे लग रहा है मैं थक गया हूँ. एंड देन ऑब्जर्व व्हेन हिज एफिशिएंसी लेवल स्टार्ट्स डिक्रीजिंग. एक होता है थकना, थकने के बाद धीरे धीरे वो काम कर रहा है, ही इज़ गिविंग हिज 100% इवन देन. बट एक लेवल आएगा व्हेन यू विल बी फुली टायर्ड, यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू डू योर वर्क एफिशिएंटली. आप उतना रिजल्ट नहीं दे पाओगे. देन दैट मीन्स उस टाइम पीरियड को नोट डाउन करना जब उसका एफिशिएंसी लेवल रिड्यूस होने लगेगा, वो वर्किंग अपनी प्रोडक्शन एफिशिएंटली नहीं कर रहा. एट दैट टाइम यू विल गिव हिम अ ब्रेक. वहाँ पे आप उसको ब्रेक दोगे. सो दिस टाइम कैन बी नोटेड टू डिसाइड फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ रेस्ट इंटरवल एंड ड्यूरिंग ब्रेक आफ्टर हाउ मच टाइम द वर्कर बिकम फ्रेश टू रीजॉइन द वर्क कैन बी द टाइम फॉर द रेस्ट इंटरवल. मतलब आप पूरा नोटिस करो कि उसको कितने टाइम के बाद ब्रेक दी और कितने टाइम के बाद ही फेल्ट फ्रेशन अप. कहाँ उसको रिफ्रेश हुआ, उसको लगा नाउ आई कैन रीजॉइन, नाउ आई कैन स्टार्ट माई वर्क. That means that particular duration should be the rest interval. 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, that should be the rest intervals. So the point is, this study aims at providing proper rest intervals to the employees to increase the effectiveness of the work. Basically motive is कि if you will give proper rest intervals to the workers, they will not get tired in between the work. अगर rest interval मिलेंगे तो बीच बीच में थकेंगे भी नहीं, तो definitely they will do the work effectively and efficiently. Fine. So I'll give you one example. Suppose in office there are 3 shifts of work. If after one shift worker gets tired, he can be assigned first and third shift. देखो अगर आपको लगता है 3 शिफ्ट्स में आप वर्क करते हो, ओके, अगर वर्कर को 2 असाइन कर सकते हो तो इट इज़ बेटर आप उसको फर्स्ट असाइन करो और थर्ड असाइन करो, उसको सेकेंड शिफ्ट में फ्री कर दो, सो डैट ही कैन टेक अ break. You must have seen in the schools also, teachers usually get free period in between. No doubt they are doing their work in between. They are doing checking, they are pending work, they are making lesson plans and all. But the point is giving them one rest interval. उन्हें वो speaking और उस energetic work से एक break मिलता है so that they can feel freshen up. Fine. So next is during one shift also you will observe small, sometimes we can give small pauses also to workers for taking the break. Fine. This is the fatigue study. Then comes method study. Method study seeks to find one best way of doing the job. Under method study बच्चे we study there is one best way of doing the job. We have to observe that particular best way that we have done in the science not rule of thumb also principle. It helps in minimizing the cost and maximizing the production. Whichever is the best way. Under method study, you are going to find out the best way of doing the job. Once you will get the best way or best method of doing the job, so then obviously you are going to minimize the cost and maximize the production. आपकी cost कम हो जाएगी और production increase हो जाएगी. Best method is that only जिसमें cost कम हो जाए और production increase हो जाए. So method of production, Taylor was of the opinion कि whenever you are going to find out the best method of production, it should not be determined by rule of thumb method. That means it should not be determined by the wills or intuitions of the managers, but it must be tried before choosing the best method. Whenever you are going to choose the best method, you should try all the methods before and then give your judgment. Now we have tried and we have come to the conclusion that this particular method is the best method, right? This is what method study suggests. Then is time study. Time study is conducted to, what is the focus motive of doing time study? Determine the standard time required to perform a job. कि एक पर्टिकुलर वर्क को करने के लिए हमें कितना टाइम चाहिए, कितना स्टैंडर्ड टाइम चाहिए. दिस एग्जाम्पल आई हैव गिवन यू इन द प्रिंसिपल्स ऑल्सो. To set up the standard targets for workers. Secondly, we do time study to set up the standard targets for the workers also. That what should be the 1 day target for the workers, how much work they are supposed to complete in 1 day. To determine the number of workers required to perform a job. Once we will come to know ki how much time a particular worker how much time a particular task takes, और उसके accordingly we can decide कि how much work we can complete in 1 day. हमें पता लग गया हम 1 day में कितना अपना वर्क कंप्लीट कर सकते हैं. उसके बाद on the basis of our target, our production, our order from the customer, we can decide whether we need more manpower from outside or we can manage from the inside employees only, available employees only. Okay, so it helps in deciding the number of workers to require a particular job also, and to categorize the workers in efficient and inefficient categories. Once you will set up the target standard time, you will set down, you can easily differentiate between efficient workers and inefficient workers. The workers who will complete the work on time, those will be categorized as efficient workers, and the workers who will not complete the work on time, they will be categorized as inefficient workers. So बच्चे basically time study के लिए you use stopwatch. This example I have given you in the previous also principles also. We use stopwatch for conducting time study. We conduct the experiments on average workers. Here we are again and again using the word average worker, means a normal man. उसके ऊपर हम एक्सपेरिमेंट करते हैं. हम उसको एक वर्कर को नहीं, अराउंड 50 टाइम्स वर्कर्स को वर्क करा के देखते हैं how much time they are taking in completing that particular job. उसके basis पे we decide what is the standard time of completing the job, and then we decide what should be the target of a day. What should be a target of a worker for 1 day, what should be a target of worker for 1 month, and according to the production level we can decide how many workers are required. We can decide about all these things through time study. So basically time study helps us in deciding the standard time required for performing the job. It helps us in setting the standards for doing the job. It helps us in finding the number of employees and differentiating between the workers, efficient and inefficient workers. Fine. So and we use stopwatch for conducting this study. Fine. The next is motion study. Motion study is conducted to, what is the main motive behind doing motion study? To determine the movements of worker while performing the job. जब workers job perform करें, to observe their movements, कि what kind of movements they are doing at that particular time. टू डिफ्रेंशिएट बिटवीन प्रोडक्टिव एंड अनप्रोडक्टिव मूवमेंट्स. कौन सी मूवमेंट ज़रूरी है, कौन सी ज़रूरी नहीं है. To differentiate between them. Productive movement is that movement which is directly related with the production. Non-productive, which can be avoided. Suppose now you are doing your work, you are reading, you are learning your lesson and something, and your books are lying, half books are lying in your room, half books are lying in your mama's room. So what do you think, going again and again to your mama's room and taking out taking your books from there is productive movement or a non-productive movement? Obviously it is a non-productive movement because you are wasting your time going again and again there. It is better to keep all your notebooks on your study table in your room and then start studying, so that there should be no wastage of time in bringing the notebooks from here and there. Similarly, it happens with the workers also. When workers work in the organization in the factory level, all the required tools, maybe it may be hammer, it may be nail, anything, it may be brush, it may be any raw material, all the required things should be nearby the worker, should lie near the worker. There should not be any wastage of time in going anywhere and bringing those things again and again, guys, standing up from the seat and bringing the things again and again. Fine. Second is to cut down the, पहले आपने बच्चे इसमें movements find out की, then you have decided कि which are productive movements and which are unproductive movements. Then you will cut down the unproductive movement, the movements which are not related to your work. You will cut those movements, you will break those movements from in between, and design suitable equipment and tools to minimize the unproductive movement. And secondly, you will design such a structure that you can reduce the unproductive movement. One common example I can give you for this is, suppose a worker is doing some work, he's standing on the table and he's making something. Fine, he needs nail, hammer, fevicol, brush for doing the work. And now imagine if fevicol, brush, some nails, all everything is lying on the floor. He has to get down again and again. उसको नीचे bend होना पड़ रहा है बार बार सामान उठाने के लिए. According to Taylor, बार बार बेंड होके सामान उठाना, दिस इज ऑल्सो शेयर वेस्टेज ऑफ मूवमेंट, दिस इज ऑल्सो अनप्रोडक्टिव मूवमेंट. अकॉर्डिंग टू टेलर, इफ ही इज इन नीड ऑफ नेल्स, उसको बार बार उस नेल्स की पेन्स की ज़रूरत है, क्लिप्स की ज़रूरत है, ब्रश की ज़रूरत है, फेविकॉल की ज़रूरत है, ऑल दीज थिंग्स शुड बी इन हिज हैंड ओनली. इट शुड बी अप्रोचेबल. वहीं पे खड़े खड़े फटाफट वहाँ से निकाला, यूज़ किया, वहाँ से निकाला, यूज़ किया. इट शुड बी लाइक दैट. सो देयर शुड नॉट बी एनी वेस्टेज ऑफ टाइम इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. फाइन. नेक्स्ट इज बच्चे, द मेन इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट इज देयर इज अ difference between motion study and time study. We have to study this difference. This is the important difference 3 marks के लिए. First is meaning. Motion study is related and recording the movements of worker. Motion study में you record the movements of the worker. Time study में we note down the time to complete the particular task, different parts of the job. Nature. Motion study is concerned with minimizing the movement of operators. That means we have to reduce the unproductive movements. And in time study, it is concerned with increasing the productivity of labor. That means we have to increase the production. We have to set targets and we have to complete those targets. Purpose. Purpose of motion study is to determine the best way of doing a job. Best way, bache, if we are going to remove the unproductive movements, that means we are finding a best way of doing the work, because we are reducing the wastage of time. And under time study, the purpose is to study or to determine a fair day work. मतलब one day में how much fair work should be there. एक worker कितना genuinely work कर सकता है, वो decide करना, that comes under time study. Techniques. Under motion study, for observing the movements, we make use of CCTV cameras or TV cameras only. And for time study, we use stopwatch. Fine. Cameras ke through we record the movements of the workers, and for recording the timing of completing the work, we use stopwatch. So these were the 4 techniques, or these were the 4 parts of work study. Fatigue study, motion study, then is time study and method study. Now next, 4th technique is differential piece wage system. Its name is suggesting differential, different, piece rate के accordingly wage provide करना, अलग अलग rates पे wages provide करना. Basically बच्चे, I am telling you once, पहले listen carefully. This technique is used to differentiate between efficient and inefficient workers. Usually in an organization, ऑल वर्कर्स आर नॉट सेम. कुछ जेन्युइनली काम करने वाले होते हैं, कुछ टाइम पास करने वाले भी होते हैं. सो टेलर वॉज ऑफ द ओपिनियन, वाई शुड आई गिव सेम वेजेस टू एफिशिएंट एज वेल एज नॉन एफिशिएंट वर्कर. जो एक्चुअली काम कर रहे हैं मैं उनको भी वही वेज दूँ, जो काम नहीं कर रहे दिल से मैं उनको भी वही वेज दूँ. वाई आई शुड गिव equal wage or salary to everyone. So Taylor was the opinion कि he has put emphasized on paying different rates of wages to efficient and inefficient employees. उसने efficient inefficient दोनों categories के employees के लिए he has fixed different rates. efficient workers को different rate पे wages मिलेंगी, inefficient को different rates पे wages मिलेंगी. I'll explain this with the help of an example also in the next page. This technique insists on पेइंग डिफरेंट रेट ऑफ वेजेस टू एफिशिएंट एंड इनएफिशिएंट वर्कर्स. पहला ये क्या है कि वी हैव टू पे वेजेस differently to efficient and inefficient worker. Second is extra wages to pay to efficient employees will motivate them to remain efficient. He was of the opinion if he will give better wages to efficient workers, obviously जो दिल से काम कर रहे हैं उन्हें ज़्यादा वर्क, उन्हें ज़्यादा wages मिलेंगी, they will feel motivated. Yes, we are getting reward for doing much work, so they will feel motivated and they will do much better work. Extra wages paid to efficient employees will motivate the inefficient employees to come in the category of efficient employees. On the other hand, the inefficient employees will feel that कि if दे विल वर्क हार्ड दे विल ऑल्सो गेट बेटर वेजेस. उन्हें भी मोटिवेशन मिलेगी ज़्यादा वेजेस अर्न करने के लिए. ठीक है. एंड वेन पेमेंट इज मेड अकॉर्डिंग टू नंबर ऑफ यूनिट प्रोड्यूस ऑटोमेटिकली द प्रोडक्शन विल बी मैक्सिमाइज. सेकेंडली बच्चे, जब हम प्रोडक्शन के अकॉर्डिंगली हम वर्कर्स को यूनिट्स प्रोड्यूस के अकॉर्डिंगली वेजेस पे करेंगे, दे विल ट्राई टू प्रोड्यूस मोर एंड मोर यूनिट्स. दैट मीन्स प्रोडक्शन विल बी मैक्सिमाइज्ड. फाइन. So you can see this example, one person is thinking why I am getting less money and the one is very happy that he has got enough money. So let's consider this with an example. Standard target for one day is 10 units, right? Focus on the example. Standard target for one day is 10 units per day. Standard rate is 50 per unit. That means if any worker will complete 10 units per day, he will get wages at the rate rupees 50 per unit. रेट बिलो स्टैंडर्ड, अगर कोई भी वर्कर 10 यूनिट से ज़्यादा बनाएगा ही विल गेट ₹60. एंड अगर कोई भी वर्कर 10 यूनिट से कम बनाएगा ही विल गेट ₹40 पर यूनिट. फाइन. अब नाउ देर आर 3 वर्कर्स, वर्कर ए, वर्कर बी, वर्कर सी. एक ने 10 यूनिट्स बनाए, एक ने 12, एक ने 10. फोकस नाउ. वर्कर ए प्रोड्यूस्ड 10 यूनिट्स, दैट मीन्स ही अचीव द टारगेट. तो जिसने स्टैंडर्ड रेट था ₹50 पर यूनिट, ही गॉट 10 into 50, दैट मीन्स 500. फाइन. वर्कर बी प्रोड्यूस्ड 12 यूनिट्स. 12 यूनिट्स मीन्स ही प्रोड्यूस्ड अबव द स्टैंडर्ड. 10 से ज़्यादा बनाया ना उसने, सो ही विल गेट ₹60 के अकॉर्डिंगली. 12 into 60, दैट मीन्स ₹720. वर्कर सी प्रोड्यूस्ड 8 units, sorry. So worker C ने जब 8 units produce किए, so that means 8 into 40, 320. So that means बच्चे, फर्स्ट वर्कर ने स्टैंडर्ड टारगेट अचीव किया, सेकेंड ने अबव स्टैंडर्ड, दैट मीन्स ही इज मोर एफिशिएंट, एंड थर्ड इज below efficient. Here worker C produced 8 units per day. Kindly correct. Fine. Next is, I hope this method is clear, differential piece weight system. This is the method used to differentiate between efficient and inefficient employees. जो standard targets achieve करते हैं they get the standard rate. Sometimes हमने standard से above rate भी रखा होता है. This is for those workers जो standard से ज़्यादा production करते हैं, and sometimes हमने standard, मतलब कई बार हमने fix ही रखा होता है कि standard तक ही देना, उससे above नहीं जाना, तो workers फिर उतने ही यूनिट्स को प्रोडक्शन करने की कोशिश करते हैं. राइट. देन इज mental revolution. This is the last technique, mental revolution. Mental revolution we have already done in the principle of harmony not discord. It means complete change of attitude and outlook for each other. That means एक दूसरे के लिए अपनी सोच को बिल्कुल बदल दो. Develops positive thinking for each other and work with harmony. अपने अंदर positive thinking लेके आओ and work with harmony. प्यार से cooperation के साथ काम करो. What is the objective of mental revolution? चेंज इन मेंटल एटीट्यूड ऑफ वर्कर्स एंड मैनेजमेंट टुवर्ड्स ईच अदर. दैट मीन्स सबसे पहले मेंटल एटीट्यूड चेंज करना है वर्कर्स का और मैनेजमेंट का एक दूसरे के लिए. आई हैव टोल्ड यू इन द एग्जाम प्रिंसिपल्स ऑल्सो, वर्कर्स शुड नॉट थिंक दैट मैनेजमेंट इज एक्सप्लॉइटिंग देम, मैनेजमेंट इज ओवरबर्डनिंग देम विद एक्सेस वर्क और पेइंग देम लेस वेजेस और सैलरीज. सिमिलरली मैनेजमेंट शुड नॉट थिंक दैट कि वर्कर्स ऑलवेज ग्रम्बल, इनकी तो आदत है, दे आर नॉट गोइंग टू डू गुड वर्क and they go slow policy, they damage the equipment. Do not think negative about the workers. Workers are giving their 100%. We should be positive regarding the workers. Second thing is cooperation between workers and management. There should be cooperation होता है बच्चे, internally you are willing to help each other. एक होता है किसी को forcefully help कराना, एक होता है internally we are willing to help each other. So we should be able to cooperate with each other. Third is ruling out policy of suspicion or prejudice from the minds of workers and management to adapt systematic thinking. ये जो हमारे माइंड में एक थिंकिंग चलती है डाउट करने की, सस्पेक्ट करने की, किसी के ऊपर शक करने की, वी शुड रिड्यूस दैट, रूल आउट कर दो, उसको निकाल दो. एक वर्कर के मन में थिंकिंग आती है कि मैनेजमेंट इज़ बायस्ड, मैनेजमेंट इज़ वेरी मच पर्टिकुलर फॉर दैट एम्प्लॉई ओनली, मैनेजमेंट थिंक्स अबाउट दैट ओनली, वी आर नथिंग फॉर द मैनेजमेंट. Even management thinks कि that worker is not good, only this particular worker is good. So this prejudice thinking, bias thinking should not be there. It should be ruled out from the minds. Fine, this is the principle, this is the technique of mental revolution. Students, we have completed all the 5 techniques given by F.W. Taylor. Now we are going to recapitulate these techniques. First technique, functional foremanship. Keywords are, we have hired eight experts, so the technique is appointment of specialized person. Then is separation of planning and execution function. That means planning को अलग किया, operation और production department को अलग कर दिया. Based on elementary principle of division of work, basically we have focused on this principle of division of work and we have violated the principle of यूनिटी ऑफ कमांड. हमने यूनिटी ऑफ कमांड के प्रिंसिपल को ब्रेक भी किया यहाँ पे, बिकॉज यहाँ पे 8 बॉसेज आर गिविंग इंस्ट्रक्शंस टू द वर्कर्स. फाइन, सो दिस आर द की वर्ड्स फॉर द फंक्शनल फोरमैनशिप. नेक्स्ट टेक्निक इज स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन एंड सिंप्लीफिकेशन ऑफ वर्क. फर्स्ट इज ब्रिंग यूनिफॉर्मिटी. ब्रिंग यूनिफॉर्मिटी मतलब काम करने का तरीका, standard quality should be same, allows interchangeability. If there is some uniformity in doing the work, that means you can interchange the employee from one department to another also, because हम सबको पता है कि what is the main way of doing the work, standard way of doing the work, so we can complete or do the work accordingly. Setting quality standards, we should set the quality standards. Setting standard for every business activity, for every kind of activity we should set the standards. To reduce given line of product to fixed type, size and characteristics, मतलब whichever product you are producing, you should produce only required type, required size and required the product with the required features only. If a particular product is not required, a particular size is not required, do not go for producing that particular size. It will be wastage of resources only. To establish standard for performance of men and machinery, in the second and also we should establish standards for work to be done by men and work to be done by through machineries also, right? Then is work study. There are 4 parts in work study: fatigue study, method study, motion study, time study. Under fatigue study, we have set rest intervals. How much rest intervals we should give, set number, frequency, duration of rest intervals. Under method study, we have studied the best way of doing the job. Selection of method which minimizes the cost. Best method should be one which minimizes the cost and maximizes the quality. और अगर quality अच्छी बनेगी, that means we are maximizing satisfaction of customer also. And devising the concept of assembly line. For method study, we are going to do various methods also. Types हैं इसकी बच्चे, that we are going to discuss in our next lecture. Then is motion study. Under motion study, we have done a differentiation between productive, non-productive and incidental movements. देखिए productive और non-productive तो पता लग गया. Incidental something by chance activity के साथ हो गई, वो हमने सोचा नहीं था, इट वॉज नॉट लाइक दैट, बट वो हमें बाई चांस ही करनी पड़ गई, राइट. एंड टू एलिमिनेट अनप्रोडक्टिव मूवमेंट्स, अनप्रोडक्टिव मूवमेंट को रिड्यूस करना. टू डिज़ाइन द इक्विपमेंट, टूल्स, फर्नीचर विच मिनिमाइज अनप्रोडक्टिव मूवमेंट. ऐसे डिज़ाइनिंग करना इक्विपमेंट्स की, लाइक जैसे आई हैव गिवन यू द एग्जांपल कि वर्कर के पास ही शेल्व्स और रैक्स बना दिए जाएं, ऑल द थिंग्स शुड बी लाइक देयर नियर बाय द वर्कर ओनली, that he need not to get up from the seat to take anything. So that means we are managing the things or arranging the equipments like that, it will reduce the unproductive movements. Then is time study. Under this we study the standard time to perform a job, and then we set the target for the workers, and we determine the number of workers to be employed or number of workers required to complete the job. This is all what we have done in work study. Then is differential piece weight system. Under differential piece weight system, strongest motivator for workers. So first of all बच्चे, this system is the strongest motivator for worker. Workers को motivate करता है ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा काम करने के लिए. To differentiate between efficient and non-efficient employees, it helps in differentiating between efficient and non-efficient employees, and it violates the principle of equity. सबसे ज़्यादा important चीज़ यहाँ है, it violates the principle of equity, क्योंकि आप equity में ये बात करते हो giving equal salary to everyone. So we are not giving equal salary here, we are differentiating, discriminating among the employees. Because why we are discriminating? Because they are not doing their 100%, they are not completing their targets. Last is mental revolution. It involves change of attitude of workers and management towards each other, and develop positive thinking and a feeling of cooperation. This is all what we have studied in these techniques given by F.W. Taylor, Scientific Techniques of Management. Now what you have to do is you have to read book page 87 to 94. These pages contain the techniques of scientific management. You are free to call me. You can take your doubts anytime. Till then, take care.